Today we're going to talk about making connections are the key to your next life. I'm Michelle O'Neill, and I'm the host of Divorce to Dynamite. I was standing at a party with my back pressed against a wall. I was sweating, I was hyperventilating, I was newly single, and a friend had invited me to a party. She kept telling me, like, you got to get out there. You've got to go meet people. You can't just stay in your apartment. I had this new apartment. There was barely any furniture in there because, he kept all the furniture. And I'm standing there as pressed against that wall as I could get. I mean, that wall needed holding up. I'm just telling you. I thought, well, a glass of wine will help. And as I sipped on the wine, I wondered, as I watched all these people at the party, and they're having fun and talking to each other, I wondered, how do they know what to say to each other? How do they introduce themselves to each other? How do they know what to talk about? Would they even want to talk to me? Would they think I'm fat? Would they think I'm interesting? What would I even say? I spent 30 minutes holding up the wall, not talking to anybody, and I left the party. How many of you have been there? How many of you went home like I did that night? Lonely, scared, afraid, insecure, fearful, and thought you'd never have friends, you'd never meet people, and nobody would ever find you interesting. Whether it's a special event, a social event, or a business networking, it took me a long time to figure out how to go into a social event or a business networking event and work the room in a way that made sense, in a way that made connections. And I had to come up with what worked for me, which was basically making a strategy out of it, making a battle plan, making a game out of it. And when I came up with this strategy, when I studied how other people worked rooms, when I watched how other people did it in different types of rooms, and I watched their game plans and their strategies, and I asked people who I thought were good at it, how do you do this? I found that I was able to implement this strategy, this game plan, this battle plan of attacking a room, attacking a social event in a way that was effective for me. And now most people don't even know that I used to have all this anxiety whenever I would approach an event like that. And because I came up with this strategy, this 3-part strategy, I went from dreading these social events to basically looking forward to them almost like playing a game. I went from feeling insecure about myself to feeling confident in social settings, knowing what to do. I went from holding up the wall to holding my own in conversations. I believe that making connections is the key to building your next life. And I want to show you my 3-step process to accomplishing that, whether you're in a social setting or whether you're in a business networking event, so that you can make that happen and you can accomplish that for yourself. The first key is before you ever go to any social event or networking event, know your mission. Have your mission statement for that event. Know before you get there what your purpose is and what you plan to accomplish. And I've broken it down into basically 3 types of events. There are 3 types of events that I go to, or 3 types of missions that I have for these types of events. One I call the pinball method. And the pinball method I use for an event where I really just need to be seen. I need to be seen at this event. I need to be present at this event. I need to take the picture, post on social media. I don't even need to stay that long, but I have to be there. People need to see me there. I usually, an event like this, I know most of the people there, or they know me. And it's more about being in the room. So I call this the pinball method because the goal is to get in, be seen, hit as many people as possible, take the pictures, post on social, and get out. That's the pinball method. So the pinball method, you go in, you always go to the left. Don't go to the right, because everybody goes to the right. It feels weird and it feels unnatural to go to the left because most of us are right-handed. So the natural inclination when you go in a room is to go to the right. But in the pinball method, you're going to go to the left because you're going to circle the room from the left as everybody else is kind of going to the right. So you go in the room, you get a drink, you go to the left. Now in the pinball method, we're not eating, we're not spending much time in any one place. So you have to have a strategy for how you're popping around. So you go in the room, you get a drink, and you go to the left and you see somebody to talk to, and you go up to a group and you introduce yourself or you say hello to people that you know, and you make some small conversation. You do your best not to get into a deep conversation. And then you pop out of the conversation and move to the next group, kind of like a pinball machine. You pop here and there from group to group around the room, going clockwise to the left. And if you get stuck in a conversation, you kind of find somebody else you know in the room and wave and say, "Excuse me," and you go talk to that person. Short conversations, be seen, take the pictures, pop around from group to group, and with the set amount of time that you've planned in advance, you spend that time, and hopefully if you've done it right, you've made your way around the room in the set amount of time you've planned to spend at the event. And by the time you get full circle around the room, you've touched as many people as you can, you've popped around, you've taken the pictures, and you are ready to slide out the door from the right-hand side and make your exit. Now, key to the pinball method, your exit has to be nonchalant, quiet, almost unnoticeable. Because just like a pinball machine, that ball pops around and then slides down the backside. All right? So the pinball method, present, visible, take the pictures, and the goal of the pinball method really only works for see and be seen type of events where you need to be there, make sure everybody knows you're there, post on social, check in, and then move on. So that's one type of an event where you have a mission. Another mission is called the abundance method. So this mission works where you want to have a high volume of connections with a low interaction level. All right, so this works especially well for business networking events where you need to make a lot of connections with people. You want the key to this type of event to be memorable. You want your personality to be popping on all cylinders. You want to be on your very, very best energy level high. You want your clothes to be bright. You want your smile to be bright. You want to make sure that you have conversation pointers that are bright and energetic and ready to go. You want to keep moving because if the key is high volume, you want to avoid getting stuck down in detailed conversations. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the exchange of business cards. I'm not a huge fan of the shoving of business cards in people's faces. I'm not a huge fan of the touching of iPhones to exchange the virtual cards. I think you need to be more memorable than that. But in the abundance method, where you are high volume, low interaction, you do have to have a method, a quick method of exchanging contact information so that you are gathering that contact information as quickly as possible. And that method may be business cards. That method may be the exchange of virtual business cards. You need to be in charge of gathering the information, not giving the information. Now, there may be that exchange that you need to do so that you are giving the other person the information. But the goal of the abundance method is for you to get as many contact information from people, as much of that as you can possibly gather. And then you keep moving. It's all about collecting the contacts so that you can do something with them in the next stages. Now, one of the other keys to the abundance method is you need to make a point of connection with each of these people. It needs to be quick, can't be real in depth, but you need to remember something about them. Maybe you meet a woman who had on a fantastic jacket. Maybe she had great earrings. Maybe she was about to go on a fabulous trip to Italy. Whatever that point of contact is, remember it. If they give you a business card, make a note on the back. If it's just a list running in your head, run to the bathroom, text yourself some notes. Marcia, going to Italy. Chuck, great tie. Joe works for Salesforce. Whatever the point is, remember something about each of the people that you are going to connect with after the event. That's key to the abundance method. All right, the third mission for types of events, the quality relationship method. So this is a low volume, foundational method for building high quality connections. All right, this may be something that is better suited for a social event. Maybe you're trying to build more friendships. Maybe you're trying to make a love connection or find somebody to go out on a date with. This type of method, the quality relationships method, this is focused effort. So you are going to try to identify a couple of people at the event, and you want to try to target these in advance. Maybe do some research, ask a friend, who's going to be at this event that might be somebody I really want to connect with, and target in advance. Know going in that there's another woman there that has something in common with you on a business level. Know going in that a friend of yours thinks that Some gentleman might be somebody you'd be interested in, pursuing a friendship with, or maybe more. So know going in that there are these people that might be somebody that you could foundationally build a longer term, higher volume or higher quality relationship with. Scope it out early, and then you can focus more on building a foundational connection with them. Spend more time in conversation with them in depth, getting to know them, asking them more questions, and having that conversational style with them so that you can take notes and remember more about what's going on in their lives. So those are my 3 types of mission statements that I use in going into an event. Different types of events, obviously, are useful for these different types of mission statements. All right, my second key to making connections, the second key. Everyone would tell you that follow-up is the key, but I say provide value. So for me, the after event for me is all about providing value to the connections that you made. And this is where remembering the points of commonality, remembering the things that you connected with these people on is so important. Making those notes, writing on the back of the business card, texting yourself something about each of the people that you connected with. And that's where that becomes so important, so that when you get back to your office and you're trying to do the follow-up, as other people say, or provide the after value, as I would say, then you have something to kind of go off of. You can send them a Facebook request, friend them on follow them on Instagram, connect with them on social. But here's what I would say as to how to find the commonalities. A friend of mine named Edwin Britt, he always uses this acronym called POGO. People, organizations, goals, and opportunities. Those are 4 types of things that you can use, or 4 types of conversation pieces that you can use to find commonality with people. Talk about people. Talk about the people in their lives, what's going on with them on a personal level. Talk about their organization, their job, their career, things they're involved in. You might find commonality there. What are their goals? Things that are important to them coming up in the future. Those might provide an area of commonality. And what are the opportunities that they have? So those are ways that you can find commonality with people, and ways that you might make a little note about them. And then as you're doing the follow-up, as people say, how do you give meaningful follow-up is to provide value. Maybe when you're talking to this woman who is going to Italy in a couple of weeks, you went to Italy last year, and she's going to one of the same places that you went, and you remember this fabulous restaurant that served the most decadent lemon cream shrimp pasta. And you go find the name of that restaurant, and you send her a text, or you send her an email, or maybe when you friend her on Facebook, you connect her with the page of that restaurant and a note that says, have a great time on your trip to Italy. Here's the restaurant we were talking about. I wish I could go with you and have another bite of that lemon cream pasta. And I hope you're able to get by there and enjoy it. Then you have provided her a recommendation of value that she may be able to use, and then you become memorable to her even after the event, especially if she's able to use it. The third key to making connections is to be a connector of others. Be a connector of others, because One of the best ways to get what you want in life is to help other people get what they want in life. So when you know that somebody is going to Italy soon, and you know that a friend of yours just went to that same place in Italy, maybe you schedule lunch and introduce the two of them, and then you enjoy lunch while these two people talk about Italy. And they pour value into each other, and you have provided value to both of them by connecting them on a common point of view between the two of them. Maybe it's a referral. Maybe one of them needs a referral to somebody to help them do business. Maybe one of them is looking for a friend who can go rock climbing with them. You don't want to go rock climbing, but the two of them do. So you've now connected two friends of yours from two separate parts of your life that can now be friends together. And you've now expanded their friend circles and yours. So where other people say, follow up, I say, provide value. And then you're memorable. And then you're a connector of the others so that you are extending that friendship into what other people need to help themselves. One of the most common questions that I get is, Michelle, that's me. Michelle, can you help me connect with other women who are in the same place that I am in life after divorce? And you know what? The answer to that is yes. I created a community called Divorced to Dynamite, just like the name of my podcast. And this community is meant for women after divorce to provide a safe place for connections, for support, and to create friendships with women who are going through very similar experiences to you. Women who have experienced divorce, maybe different types of experiences of divorce, but who, just like you, are trying to rebuild their lives and connect with other people to move on after divorce to their new chapters. My group is on Facebook. It's easy to find, and all you have to do is join. And then once you join, get involved, be active, share the group with other women who are, like you, experiencing life after divorce. You will meet other women. You will find positive support because I don't allow negativity in the group. And you will have a built-in group of friends and supporters who are in the same situation as you. I will leave you with this. After divorce, connections are the key. Connections are the key to moving past your past. Connections are the key so that you don't feel alone. Connections are the key to building your next life. Connections are the key.